On this episode, I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. You can either freehand your drawing, or you can actually trace over it, whatever feels most comfortable to you. I like to freehand, so I'm going to go ahead and just start with my character. I'm starting with just a nice black thin marker, and I'm going to start drawing her little face. And again, you can use any image. I just really like to draw, so I'm going to fill in her hair, and I usually draw on Bristol paper. That's what I'm used to, so I was a little nervous to draw on shrink plastic. So if you make a mistake, you can use the Permanent Fabric Ink Cleaner by Judikins. So I'm gonna go in, I'm just drawing the hair first because the black ink will bleed. And so I'm giving her big fluffy hair, and you can draw her, you know, not super small. I'm drawing her kind of big so she comes out to be a really nice size. And I want to take that off, so I'm actually going to go ahead and correct it with the Judikins cleaner. And just put a little bit on a paper towel. And we're just going to kind of roll it up, and I'm just going to go in and just kind of smoothen that edge. And it's okay if you take too much out, because you can always go back and just fill it in. You could also use colored pencils if you want. I just really like bold colors in my drawings, so that's why I'm using markers. Now that it's dry, I would recommend just doing that naturally, let it naturally dry, because I grabbed the heat gun and we're working with shrink plastic and it just crumpled in itself. So don't do that. Don't do what I do. And we're going to use a thinner side of the marker to make her eyebrows. And I like to do nice, easy little strokes. And you can make her brows any way you want, because you're going to draw your own little character. And then we're going to draw her eyes. And Sharpie's still a little new for me, so take your time. Draw her eyeliner. And then you have a little more control if you just turn your paper. You don't have to keep them straight, just turn it a little bit. And draw the other side. Okay, and that hair is almost dry, so I'm going to go back and outline it, because once the plastic has shrunk, you want all the little details in there. Okay, actually, draw her little eye. Her little nose. And then I'm gonna go back, and I'm not outlining the whole thing. That's just kind of, you're gonna find your own style. I like to just kind of outline here and there. And it's okay if that smudges, you're gonna cut this image out. And then I'm gonna give her a little bow. You can be as creative with your shrink plastic as you want. And then I'm going to use the same marker and make her little lips. And then I like to give them little freckles. So I'm going to use my black marker, just give her little freckles. And then outline the bow. And then my signature is I like to do a little bit of blush. I give her a little blush. And then that is your drawing there. And then once that's done, you let the ink dry. Now that it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and grab my Judikin scissors. I love these scissors because they're really tiny, so you can really get a better cut. And try and get as close as you can to your outline. And you can move the paper around to make it a little easier. Or I like to kind of cut some excess out of the way. Now that we have it all cut out, we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven. We're going to heat the oven to 275 to 300 degrees. And we're just going to place her in there. And we're going to wait. This is actually my favorite part because it starts to crumple up. It's okay if it starts to crumple up because it will start to flatten itself out. But it's really neat to watch. Now that it's done, it's nice and flat. So we're just going to pull it out of our little oven here and be very careful because it's super hot. So try not to touch it until it's completely cool. And while we wait, I have one right here that's already done. So now that it's cooled off, I'm going to go ahead and use my Judikin's Flex Enameling resin. What's good about this part is that you don't have to be nice and neat with it, but you want to cover your character completely. This is going to give it a nice glossy glaze. I definitely want my pen to be nice and shiny. So just in the right amount like that. And then we're going to go ahead and put her right back into the oven. And you don't have to wait that long. It melts pretty quickly, but you want to wait till that powder is nice and clear right on top of your character. Now that she's completely clear, take her out of the oven. So now that it's out of the oven, just be careful again, it's going to be really hot, but you want to make sure it's completely solid and glossed over. Now that she's dry and all cooled off, we're going to go ahead and take her off the foil. And our next step is we're going to hot glue our pin backing. So all you need for this is a hot glue gun. And again, be careful, it's going to be really hot. And you want to hot glue the back of our pin here. Get a nice amount. We're going to flip her over and we're going to just stick it right on the back. Once you have the hot glue on your backing, you want to wait for that to cool off before you touch it. So I think it's almost just about done. And now that it's on, flip it over and now you have your little pin, little character pin. And you can do this as a pin or you can make it as a little magnet.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Copper Top Ink. Please follow us on social media and remember to visit our website at whencreativityknocks.com for lots more creative ideas.